welcome you all to this virtual training on IGRT that is jointly organized by Labed Cancer Hospital and Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute and Research Hospital from Delhi. So we are very happy to welcome you all. Straightway, I want to go to the program. At the beginning, I would like to request Mr. Saqib Samim, who is the Managing Director of Labed Cancer Hospital, to give a welcome speech. Mr. Saqib Samim.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. It's an honor to welcome you all to the 5-day series of virtual training program on IGRT. On behalf of Labed Cancer Hospital and Super Specialties Hospital, which is the newest concern of Labed Group, our organization is proud to have a collaboration with Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute and Research Center of India. This program is the first joint collaborative program of our institute, and I'm sure we will arrange more similar program on coming days, inshallah. I want to express my gratitude to the Radiation Oncology Department faculties of RJCI for taking the pain to arrange this training program. Finally, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to all the registered participants for their overwhelming response to our invitation. Our team will give the best effort to make the program successful. May Allah help us in creating one of the best cancer care facility in this region. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So now I would like to request Dr. Munish Gabriela, who is the head of the department and director of radiation oncology in the Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute. And we would like to say that the total team of radiation oncology department will be engaged in total 5-day session. And again, on behalf of Bangladesh, we want to express our gratitude. And the man who was the mastermind behind is Mr. Dr. Munish Gabriela. Can you please give an outline of the whole program? Dr. Munish, please.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for including us in this program. As I said, I am Dr. Munish Garoda, and I am the Director of Radiation Oncology at Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute. Well, it gives me immense pleasure to inviting you all for this initiative. And before saying anything, let me congratulate and thank you to Dr. Kamaluddin for taking all these initiatives and, of course, conceptualizing this program, which is a very important thing. He conceptualizes this program, and then he contacted us to create this kind of a program, which is, you'll see in subsequent Saturdays also. It's a unique kind of a program which we are organizing. This is for the first time that we are doing, though we are keep on doing a lot of programs, but this is for the first time that initiative of Dr. Kamaluddin and is conceptualizing this kind of program. We also created this program, and you all will like this thing. The aim of objective of this program is actually the knowledge-based resource transfer and asset management in the field of radiation oncology. It's a real cross-border medical dialogue between Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute, Delhi, India, and Labed Hospital, Bangladesh, as well as the doctors, physicists, radiotherapy technologists all across Bangladesh, which is a great thing, and which will enable us a safe and conducive environment for learning, developing our existing skills, and gaining the newer vision for cancer management. I strongly believe, and I think you also agree with this thing, that our field of radiation oncology is a special fraternity where not one person or field, but the strength of the entire team is responsible for good patient care, comfort, as well as adapting ourselves to the ever changing and growing field of oncology associated with technology. In subsequent few Saturdays, we are aiming to converting different site, of tumors and their management. We will be focusing on few, cases from each site and give a practical approach in handling them, taking you across the workflow of the department from the clinical aspect to physics and planning, and of course the technical aspect of the treatment. I hope this endeavor is enriching and provide fruitful benefit, hoping every one who is coming and who is attending to this dialogue richer and wiser. So Dr. Kamaluddin, this is what I wanted to tell you, and you want me to introduce Dr. Gurvinder, Mr. Gurvinder, or you will be introducing that?
I will be.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Munish. It's so nice of you and so humble from your end. We just proposed something and you have created the program. And we are so happy that you have included not only the high-tech IGRT, BMAT and IMRT. As per our request, you have tried to incorporate from 2D to 3D so that all the corner of our country can get benefit. And we are so happy that you have engaged your clinicians, physicists, and RTTs. So as you said, the program will be designed in such a way, there will be some lectures and also practical demonstration that how Rajiv Gandhi is doing the treatment on the couch, so that anybody will see that where the role of IGRT, how you are setting, what immobilization they are using, how they are matching and how they are fixing the problems, how they are overcoming the challenge. And anybody in the group is welcome to put their question in the chat box, because that will be the main part when the question answer session will go on. As because we are expecting 100+ participation, so for the management, we are not allowing anybody to ask verbally, but all of us are requested to put in the chat box and we will address every single question, even if it is after 1 o'clock. Even late hours, if it is need to be extended time, we will request our faculty to respond the question. So because that will be the most important part. And last, we will be at the end of the session, there is a proposal of making an assessment of everybody just to understand that what is the level of understanding happened. That was the proposal from Dr. Munish and we welcome it. And a certification will be given to everybody. So with these few words, let us move to our today's only presenter. Today, only presenter will be Dr. Gurvinder, and probably Dr. Munish will be there at the last part when the question answer will be there if there is requirement. So Mr. Gurvinder Singh is a known face to our RTT community in our country because he came to Bangladesh many times for IAEA program. And globally, he is a known person. In India, he is a very respected person as radiation therapy technologist, and he is also a faculty in ISRO. And he has done a great work for the development of radiotherapy technology in this region and also for the world. So in addition to a practicing RTT, he is a leader and he is a good mentor, I will say. So we are happy to welcome Mr. Gurvinder. Today he will be the only person presenting, who is the Chief RTT of Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute. Mr. Gurvinder Singh, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kamal, for your nice introduction. May I know that is visible the presentation with you?
No, screen presentation is not yet visible.
Kamal bhai,
Shuman?
I think you should show the
let us share it from our end, Mr. Gurvinder.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
Mahfouz, share it from our end.
Okay.
You stop your send and we start.
I think, yeah, because you have to make me co-host, then I can share.
You are co-host. Already you are co-host.
Okay, okay.
So there is the screen, and when you say next, you will go to the next slide. Mahfouz, go to a slideshow.
Okay, fine.
Slideshow, Mahfouz. नीचे 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 आओ। Okay. Mr. Gurvinder, you can start.
Yeah, it's fine. So, good morning, dear all colleagues. Subha Sakal and Assalamu alaikum. My special thanks to Dr. Munish Gairola and Dr. Kamluddin for taking this initiative to organize academic feast between Bangladesh and Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute. I am pleased to present you very first session from RGCI and RC, a journey, an introduction of IGRT in cancer care on the way to reality from 2D to IGRT. So let us continue to torch allotted topic. So myself, Gurvinder Singh Vadawan, will be with you for this. Next, please.
Next slide.
As per publication 2016, IAEA says that 3 people will develop cancer during their lifetime, depending on the region of the world they live in. And 65% of all cancer patients could be benefited with radiotherapy. So it is a very big volume. Patients are going to undergo radiotherapy. So it is well recognized that there is a need to evaluate the influence of different factors affecting the accuracy of radiation dose delivery and to define actions necessary to maintain treatment uncertainties at acceptable levels after corrections. Next, please. IGRT process ensures us that delivered treatment matches the intended treatment, in which accurately targeting the tumor while minimizing the healthy tissues that we call as a OARs. So there are many parameters site specific should be taken care for concluding a successful IGRT. So what will have all these parameters? So we need to go through the introduction that we have to know these parameters, how going to affect our IGRT treatment, like errors, uncertainties, margins, immobilization role, what is the correction strategy which we are following, offline or online. So how the imaging modalities are helpful in fusion and in-room CT-based IGRT, electromagnetic tracking, respiratory motion management, challenges, advantage, and trust, how we can trust whatever we are doing is, can we trust on that? And then yes, of course, quality assurance program then recommendations, training and competency of professionals involved in this team of IGRT, and then conclusion. Next, please. So let us understand what is IGRT. IGRT, please continue next. IGRT enable us to be certain for right radiation dose to right place using geometric and dosimetric verification by comparing with reference images, and successful verification is possible with 2D imaging or with 3D imaging or maybe both. So giving translational and rotational setup errors before treatment. So next question comes, what will IGIT do then in that case? It will reduce setup errors, especially with advanced techniques where escalation of doses has to be achieved for smaller regions, for nearer to the OIR regions. Next, please. So, confirm spatial distribution of the prescribed dose to target volume and minimizing OIRs is the aim of IGRT. Next, please. Now, why this transition to IGRT needed? Next, please continue. In initial days, when we were used to do 2D imaging, where treatment beams, boundaries planned orthogonally on X-ray, maybe if simulator is available, then we will take on simulator AP films, right lateral films, left lateral films, and if simulator not available, we can utilize the facilities from X-ray department for doing the orthogonal imaging at the time of conventional radiotherapy. Please continue, next please. So that becomes the 2D RT. And when we switch over to 3D, in that case, if you see the borders, corners of the edges, black portion of these smaller, we are confirming the shape. So in 3D, we are able to shape the tumor. But when we go to the next generation of treatment, that is the IMRT, in that case, intensity modulation is achieved depending on the tolerance of the specific regions where the distribution of doses has to be taken care. So why this technology is required? Because we are increasing precision and higher doses to smaller regions more effectively distributed. So that may be the the transition phase for IGRT. Next, please. Now, next question comes, are we geared for IGRT planning and delivery? Because in IGRT, 90% volumetric imaging by CBCT or by MBCBCT being used commonly for all sites except breast. In breast, there are limitations with the intent of improving target accuracy and precision by correcting anatomical and biological deviations. So, IGRT technique increases overall treatment time as well as efforts of team, starting from patient positioning, immobilization, which have an impact on clinical result. So, ensuring geometric accuracy and uncertainty margin during planning and delivery has to be taken care. Next, please. now, despite improved technology, improved imaging techniques, it is not possible to correct all components of uncertainties errors, which may arise from target delineation, from patient skin setup marking, maybe due to the patient position changes, maybe due to the internal motion changes, or maybe due to the, sometimes the patient loses its weight, then the change or uncertainties or errors are expected. So margins should be taken care accordingly to correct these uncertainties, errors for the treatment. Next, please. Next, please. Yes. So we have to be alert. Why? Because how the systematic error is going to affect in nutshell, it is during positioning. Back, please. Back, please. Reverse.
Mahfuz, you have to go the earlier slide. Mahfuz,
yes. Yes. So systematic error during positioning or during simulation. Yeah, it's all right. Or during target delineation, if uncorrected. Okay, fine. If uncorrected, would affect all treatment fractions uniformly. So we have to be alert. And if random error during treatment execution is unpredictable, varies with each fraction. So we have to be alert. So be careful, because systematic error shift the entire dose distribution away from clinical target volume. And while random errors blurring this distribution around the CTV, hence affecting the therapeutic ratio and patient morbidity. Next, please. Margins are used to account for geometrical uncertainties in the position of target volume, or maybe the microscopic spread around the planning target volume. So a safety margin is required to ensure planned dose delivery to the target during day-to-day variation. CTV, PTV margins could be shrunk if CBCT is used. And finally, contributing errors could underdose part of CTV or overdose OAR. Therefore, errors must be corrected before any treatment commences, either by simulation or by IGRT prior to delivery. So the treatment is then carried out with the belief that yes, all the assumptions would hold true for any given patient during daily treatment session. You can see on the right corner above that PTVG is static envelope inclusive of margins within which the CTV is present. So 100% the region is going to get the dose accordingly. Next, please. So how can we introduce radiotherapy efficiently? This is the again next question, and safely. So what we are going to do, we have to increase precision and accuracy by identification of target via the techniques and resources available with us with different level of IGRTs, so likely to reduce the toxicity and improve tumor control with escalated dose delivery finally. So next please. Now the immobilization role. Immobilization, next please. Immobilization is based on clinical side, and depending on the the patients easily can lie down for a duration of the time without changing his position. So reproducible setup with a device into which the patient is locked, but its restriction of anatomical movement is achieved. That is the main role of immobilization. Positioning accuracy requires sub-millimeter precision if we are going higher dose escalation. So the balancing has to be done in all the parameters for the immobilization, locking in those coordinates which can give a everyday reproducible setup. Next please. You can see poor. We have to be careful during making during process of this immobilization. We should devote good time for cooling down the devices which we are using. Sometimes due to the overload or more volume of patients, we do not wait for 25 minutes or 30 minutes or 35 minutes as per the recommendation. So when we remove the patient and the result is in front of you, that next day when you will fix immobilization, you will lose the shape. So next please. You can see the nasal region, there is a slightly gap. Next please. Yes, now it looks fine, because in higher advanced techniques we have to be sure. Next please. So if a deviation is observed, a good correction strategy, if there is available to perform a setup correction at every fraction, has to be taken care. But every fraction may not be possible depending on the resources, patient volume. So strategy accordingly has to be developed. First, identify, then quantify, and then apply the error. You have to do the assessment, how much error you are getting, and you have to see whether 1 mm or 2 mm, what are the correction parameters should be taken care, or if there is a inter-observable verification. Sometimes one is setting with one field border checking, another one is setting with another field border checking. That strategy will definitely going to affect the treatment protocols. So we have to be careful. So whether it is going to be offline, whether it is going to be online, what kind of a strategy we are going to take, because in online you are going to correct before treatment. So no doubt in online immediately gross errors has to be taken care, minimize that error, or if possible you again reset the patient, you again see what are the coordinates have been used during planning. All coordinates are at its matching point. Then you can analyze and assess whether the correction has to be applied online or not. And if offline, if it is minor, then no doubt the radiation oncologist can see the offline and he can give the comment, and next day before treatment that offline correction may be implemented. So depending on all these parameters, strategy can be defined. Next, please. So image registration or fusion are often used treatment planning to combine information obtained from MR, PET, SPECT, CT together for delineation of tumor volumes and normal tissue structures. So IGRT relies on the quality of fused images to yield accurate and reproducible patient setup prior to dose delivery. Next, please. Now we can just identify the levels of IGRT depending on the infrastructure available at our centers. What level of IGRT we are following, whether it is level 1 or level 2 or a level 3. So let us know what we can do in a level 1 IGRT. It involves the offline review of MB portal images, which we were used to do initially with an electronic portal imaging device, EPID, or if we are not having EPID, then of course radiographic films, orthogonal images for conventional radiography. So that is also IGRT, but at a level 1 IGRT. And when we go to IGRT 2 level, in that we are using the KV imaging, and in that we are using the MLC, and in that we are having the correction strategy on the same couch. So we can immediately apply to the patient. So that becomes the IGRT level 2. And then if we go to IGRT level 3, so in that, yes, we are going to know the respiration motion management options, how gated treatment with 4D planning and verification has to be done. So I think in subsequent classes, we may be going for in detail, in depth for these discussions. Next, please. So in-room planar X-ray used as one main stage, providing first screening. If you are having cobalt machine, or if you are having the basic LINAC, in which cobalt you cannot have the imaging, but in current new machines you are having the imaging EPID system with that. So in room, what kind of X-ray based imaging pattern, or you are having the orthogonal imaging, that can be used in room. Next, please. CT based. CBCT allows the evaluation of soft tissue and OR, giving more accurate verification of positioning with one single rotation of the LINAC entry prior to the treatment. It is the CBCT based in IGRT room. Next, please. Now the next is ultrasound based, where ultrasound based techniques or maybe the video based surface tracking using implanted soft tissue markers for visualizing soft tissue targets, like in prostate after implants we are following. And yes, isocenter position is often moved at this point using online matching, but we are keeping field used for imaging do not need to be enlarged. So sufficient anatomy, the field size need only be equivalent to the treatment field while we do the ultrasound based prostate radiation therapy. Next, please. Yes, when we go for electromagnetic tracking, that becomes a real-time tracking to quantify variation in lung or liver cases in which respiratory motion management has to be taken care. So what technique we are following, whether we are using infrared to correlate movement of the chest or diaphragm with internal movement of the target volume, or during CT planning and dose delivery. So in this technique, next please. In this technique, further you have options. You have depending on the equipments available with you. So what option you are following? Whether you are going to option prevent the motion, or you are going to option track the motion. If you are going to prevent the motion, then which technique you are following? Whether it is breath hold technique or breath control technique. So that may be active or passive technique, in which you are also going for inspiration based, and in inspiration based technique maybe with varying RPM, and you can follow with the infrared camera, you can follow the track the pattern of the respiration. And if you are going for track motion, so you have a resource of CyberKnife, or you are having the Novelis 6D or the 4D respiratory gating technique. So depending on the options, you can do the motion management at your center. Next, please. Next, please. Changing respiratory cardiac actions, gastrointestinal mobility, muscular actions are responsible for movement of target. So OAR is a bigger challenge. How you are going to save them precisely, and how you are going to fire the cancer cells, because you can see the motion, how tumor is moving with our respiratory motions. Next, please. Oh, challenge. Big challenge for in IGRT is not easily IGRT easy to deliver. What are the challenge we are facing here at our practice? Daily 3D imaging, much high additional dose. So for that, MB energy CBCT is a matter of concern. While planar images are taken with 0 and 90 degree only with 1 MU. So you have to see the challenge that how you are going to distribute this doses with the treatment doses. Longer treatment times with lower normal tissue doses. So reduce safety margin around the target volume leads to higher risk of geographical miss if any error is occurred. So need to develop strategy to correct challenges and achievable dose distribution. And sometimes patients, due to the poor nutritional status, due to patient weight loss, inadequate oral intake, and treatment-induced mucositis, is very difficult for the patient. So precisely locating the tumor throughout the course of radiation therapy has become a challenge while higher dose delivery. Next, please. So advantage, yes, of course, it is very big advantage. When we are doing IGRT, of course, patient is benefited. We are having improved precision. We are having excellent dose distribution. We are having excellent optimization of the target dose distribution and also the tolerance doses under the with OAR. So it's yes, very much advantageous to you. Next, please. So what patient is going to get out of it? Better normal tissue sparing, less toxicity, possibly higher doses to target, higher chance of cure, more dose in a fraction, fewer fractions. In maybe in 2 weeks you can complete the treatment also. So field placement accuracy better than, I can say, less than 2 mm. it is very tough time. If you are having the 2 you are again going to a challenge how you can correct from 2 to 1 Next, please. And you can see the result after few fractions, maybe after 1 week, maybe after 2 weeks, the shrinkage, tumor shrinkage in the image you can see. Then if you are seeing the tumor shrinkage, then again the adaptive radiotherapy, you are able to again match with the contouring the target and giving the treatment accordingly. Next, please. So can we trust what we are seeing in our in our these dose histograms or dose distributions are different colors? Can we trust whatever we are seeing is yes, it is like that we are distributing the dose? Yes, we can correct. Physics has taken care for doing the dosimetry on phantoms. What we see, yes, actually it is matching with the dose delivery. So we are trusting our technique. Next, please. Intensity maps. Yes, of course. Adjusting the radiation beams intensity as per the contours of the target tumor. So we can have the intensity modulation as per the tolerance of the tissues, as per the tolerance of the cancer cells. Then we are able to have the what optimization process in which we can check dosimetric verification of the dynamic delivery of doses. And yes, dose volume histograms are routinely computed for these higher advanced techniques for verification of distribution of doses. Next, please. You can just see that open field. First one is open AP field scheduled for the treatment. And in second image, you can see the intensity modulation in that region where we are delivering the doses as per the distribution as per the tolerance. Next, please. Similarly, it is lateral open field and it is lateral with IMRT field. Next, please. Yes, recommendation for geometric verification. The three structures should be visible when we are doing the image verification at least. The anatomies identified below indicates the most stable structure used for comparison. So wherever they fall within the field arrangement should be chosen for verification. Daily verification may be required for treating tumors planned with very small margins like SRS, SRT. So tolerances and action levels to use will vary, particularly with the immobilization used and compliance of the patient, and should be discussed in subsequent sessions site-wise in our future classes, so that a conclusion, a protocol can be developed as per the local regions. So in our imaging, how we are going, when we take MBCT, then 1 to 2 centigrade and 40 to 80 centigrade, 1 to 2 centigrade per image, 40 to 80 centigrade for entire course of treatment. And if we are using KVCVCT, then 1 to 5 centigrade per image, and depending on the site throughout scan volume, around approximately 40 to 200 centigrade for entire dose, entire course dose has been delivered to the patient for during imaging. Next, please. So this is the published data that what kind of anatomical structure we should verify. We out of these anatomical bodies, we should be professionals. Those who are going for matching for IGRT, they should be aware about the anatomy. If it is head case, what they are going to match, whether they are going to match orbital contour, or they are going to see nasal septums or frontal sinus, or when they are going for lateral image verification, then what are the anatomical parameters, anatomical settings should be taken care. Next, please. So at least 3 anatomies should be verified at one time. So similarly in AP views, similarly in lateral views, in head and neck cancers, the at least 2 to 3 anatomical body should match at one time. Next, please. In breast cases, yes, how the lung border is involved, how much area with the soft tissue region is involved, and how the you can verify with the cervical spine also that alignment of the patient, because at least upper border, central region, lower border, the volume of the lung may not be it is similar, so it may vary. So in that case, the verification has to be taken care. Next, please. Similarly, with AP and lateral borders for thorax, if you are having larger volume for treatment, it is a very tough time to identify uh, to to identify the vertebral level, that yes, upper border is at this level, lower border is this level, and when doing the thorax image verification, it is little bit KBCBCT. Yes, you are very well recognizing the anatomy, but when MBCBCT, slightly you have to be more alert that yes, counting has to be perfect. Otherwise, you may little bit up longitudinally up and down, you may miss the target. Next, please. Yes, in pelvis also the anatomical structure should be taken care. If you are doing cervix, if you are doing patient with bladder protocols, then the filling of the bladder is going to give you the another challenge for image during image guidance. So that has to be taken care while doing the imaging for bladder protocols also. Next, please. So training and competency of IGRT professional has to be on priority, because there should be understanding the use of different acquisition modes. There should be knowledge of appropriate anatomy to use for each side, knowledge of a systematic and random error, identifying you have to identify which kind of error you are going to correct. So ability to identify when what protocol should be as online imaging for a patient demonstrating large random errors. So knowledge of geometric consideration, identify if replanning is required, then refer for replanning. Treatment accuracy can be affected by the tumor site, by the staff shift, and by the staff vigilance. And yes, because of treatment breaks. So that has to be taken care while doing proper training and maintaining the competency. Next, please. So in conclusion, what we should understand that before transition to IGRT, what we were used to get, wider margins based on bony landmass, difficulty in OIR delineations, more normal tissue irradiated, and increased toxicity, increased reactions to the patient, so reduced therapeutic ratio. And now after transition to IGRT, what we are getting? Safety of normal vital structures, proper coverage of target, precise delivery of dose, decreased toxicity in grade and size, well-tolerated modality of treatment, and yes, improved overall survival of the patient and quality of life. Next, please. So In view of these parameters, IGRT has enhanced the quality of imaging to verify anatomical boundary of the face with sharp beam margins, which resulted in improving the therapeutic ratio. IGRT permits detection and online correction of these shifts, which would have been otherwise gone unnoticed, leading to dosimetric errors during radiation therapy and affecting the survival rate. Next, please. Next. Next, please. Next, please. So, multidisciplinary collaboration, training, quality assurance, and discussions needed to evaluate the patient planning and treatment. Accuracy of each step has a major impact on tumor control and normal tissue complications. So modern techniques, IMRT, VMAT, SRS, SRT have helped to reduce the safety margins around the target volume while using the IGRT technique. So finally, high degree of accuracy in the treatment delivery system is possible by management, by providing the high-tech equipment, by radiation oncologist taking care of the patient, by medical physics taking care of the treatment plan, and by radiation therapy technologists finally implementing the dream of all the experts actually on the patient. Thank you very much. Next, please. Next, please.
Mahfouz, stop the screen share. So thank you, Mr. Gurvinder. I don't see much question in the chat box. আমি just সুবিধার জন্য বাংলায় বলছি। যাদের কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে প্লিজ চ্যাট বক্সে কোশ্চেনটা টাইপ করো। স্পেশালি আমি টেকনোলজি যারা আছো তাদের যদি কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকে, কারণ লং লেকচার অনেকগুলো জিনিস কভার করা হয়েছে। সো এখানে ডক্টর মুস্তাফা আজিজ সুমন তোমাদের কোশ্চেনগুলো ডিসকাস করবে। So there is a question that what immobilization device currently used in your center during breast IMRT and VMAT?
Yes.
Mr. Gurvinder.
Yeah, immobilization for breast. We are practicing with Vaclock as well as with the 6 clamps Orfit, which helps in locking the upper region as well as lower region.
For breast, they were asking for breast.
Yeah, for breast. Vaclock and thermoplastic, Orfit thermoplastic. That is the 6 blocks in which.
So are you not using the breastboard?
When we go for IGRT, breastboard use is almost neglected because we are only flat surface, and flat surface of carbon fiber base plate is helpful in giving the good distribution. So breastboard in that case for advanced technique almost neglected.
Shumon, can you please take over? There are a few more questions. Shumon?
So thank you, Kamal bhai.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello,
Gurvinder
good
ji.
afternoon, doctor.
How are you? And so there are a few more questions in the chat box. At first, I would like to discuss these issues. Then I have some personal questions to you. So
Please.
I don't want to lose this opportunity. So one question from Dr. Mannan, who is now working in the Leavitt Cancer Hospital. What will be the ideal cooling time for a thermoplastic mask you consider in your center? So what time we should give the thermoplastic mask?
It is a very good question, and we I think many technologists in beginning they will take care of this timing, but when they will see the volume of the patient, numbers are more, then time is they being reduced. So ideally, if you are going for making the head cast, only head cast, then you should leave the patient at least for 20 minutes on the table. And when you are using head and neck thermoplastic, then you should go 25 minutes. When you are going for thorax or when you are going for pelvis immobilization, then you should go for 25 to 35 minutes uh, for cooling down the thermoplastic. Otherwise, next day you will face after 24 hours that you are going to have definitely change in the immobilization.
Thank you, sir. Hopefully, Dr. Mannan, you have got your answer. So another question from Dr. Aditi Chaudhary, who is also working in Labit Cancer Hospital. So if respiratory motion management is not available, what is the best imaging technique for breast cancer management?
What is it?
For breast cancer management, if respiratory motion is not there, so how we could manage the respiratory motion in breast cancer management? We don't have any respiratory active motion management.
See, there is no answer if you are not having the respiratory motion IGIT technique, because in that you will only able to shoot the tumor when it is in the phase of treatment mode. So the answer solution, if we are not having that technique, then only the solution is, if possible, we can do the KV-CBCT imaging for that kind of cases, so that at least soft tissue delineation we can mark out and accordingly we can treat.
Govindaji, can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Yes. Is daily CBCT mandatory in IMRT?
Is it there?
Is daily CBCT mandatory for IMRT?
So this is also a very good question. See, in IMRT, at least twice in a week, CBCT, if performed, then yes, you can trust that your aim of dose distribution you are able to achieve. If possible, twice weekly should be advised. First, at the day 1 is compulsory, and if your resources permits, then yes, advanced technique to reduce the gross error, take the 2D imaging first, at the same time take the CBCT, then you correct finally. Then you are able to give the marking for every day matching on the patient immobilization device.
So just to supplement the earlier question, so if you see the lectures, there is Gurvinder sir already mentioned that in the total course in the CBCT you have a defined dose level. So we should keep it in mind that in the total course we should not go beyond 200 centigrade in the total. Am I right, Gurvinder ji?
Please, yes.
So next question, we should take CBCT for pelvic cases. This is just like the repetition of the previous questions. How frequently we should take CBCT for pelvic cases? So in pelvic cases, what should be the frequency?
See, for pelvic cases, if you are not considering the peristaltic movement or internal organ motion, then and of course, if patient numbers are less, you can take even every day. But when the load is high, then 2D imaging should be sufficient in that case. Yes, of course, if you are able to do CBCT, it is going to give the further refinement of your 2D imaging.
There is any significant advantages of the image verification prior and after the treatment compared to only image verification prior the treatment? Okay, so prior and after, what is the advantage image verification?
What is the?
So prior and after image verification, what is the advantage if we are going to take the image verification only prior?
There is any advantage of the image verification prior and after image verification? There is any significant advantage of image verification prior? Yes, of course, if you are taking prior to treatment, that will become online imaging, online correction. So you are able to do correction on site. But if you are having not much variation, if it is like 2 mm, 2.5 mm, or maybe between 1 to 2.5 mm, then yes, you should wait for next day also. You can wait next day also that yesterday I have taken imaging and yesterday it was 1 mm or 1.5 or 2. Today again, if it is same, then you should make a strategy. Yes, it should be corrected. Otherwise, sometimes you will feel today if you are having 1 mm or 2 mm or 1.5, tomorrow same coordinates, everything is same. You may not have more than 1 mm. So you have to be experienced in correcting at that time.
So there is a very important question again from Dr. Aditi. She is saying that when we should consider replanning. When we should consider replanning. Suppose we are treating a patient with a huge neck mass. After a certain time, it's regress. And what is the time when we should go for a replan?
It is a really very good question. When we do imaging on machine, at day 1, we are giving AP, right lateral, left lateral isocenter marking. Additionally, we can go for more marking like laser alignment longitudinally, like laser alignment laterally. So in subsequent sessions, next day or next to next day, you see the matching. During matching, you are not able to get the anatomy matching every day same. For example, if you are having head and neck side, if you are matching contour of orbits, day 1 it is matching perfectly, but day 2 it is slightly variation, then day 3 it is again variation. Similarly, it means the systematic error is frozen in that imaging, in the treatment setup. So that has to be corrected after few fractions when you are sure that this error is going to be persistent for whole treatment, and that error may be systematic and that error may be random every day changing. So you can decide accordingly that every day I am having this variation, which is giving a challenge for matching. So that replanning has to be performed.
So thank you. It's a really very practical problem we are facing in our daily routine practice. So thank you, Aditi, for raising these issues. So another question from Muhabbat Ali. He's an radiation therapy technologist. So his question is: in one day, can I take 2 or more CBCT?
Why? Reason?
So reason in the first CBCT.
Maybe in the CBCT 1, the correction which has come is large gross error. So the gross error then corrected, and the second time again CBCT has taken to verify. Now in second CBCT the correction is how much. So yes, it can be done. In one day 2 CBCT can be taken, because depending on the gross error in first CBCT, then in second CBCT comparatively less.
So thank you. I am not seeing any more question in the chat box. I have seen that Mizanur Rahman, you are raising your hand. So what's your question, Mizanur Rahman? Can you please write down in the chat box, because in the program setup we are not allowing anyone to ask the question directly. Mizanur Rahman, you should ask your question in the chat box.
Tania, make Ehteshamul Haq unmute.
So
Ehteshamul Haq bhai unmute karo.
So Ehtesham sir is raising his hand. Okay.
But others, you are requested to put the question in chat box. We will not allow anybody to ask the question. Ehtesham bhai ke unmute karo. Tania, Dr. Ehtesham Haq.
Sir ke request kora hocche.
Okay, Dr. Ehtesham. Ehtesham bhai, please.
Yes, please.
Unmute, Dr. Ehtesham.
Sorry.
Ehtesham bhai, unmute karen.
Welcome for question, please.
Tania, unmute Dr. Ehtesham.
Sir ke request kora hocche. Sir
আমাকে রিকোয়েস্ট করেছি, উনি অ্যাকসেপ্ট করতে হবে স্যার।
Ehtesham bhai, আপনি unmute করতে হবে, আপনি নিজেকে unmute করেন। আপনি
স্যার
নিজেকে
আমরা রিকোয়েস্ট পাঠাইছি।
ওরা আপনি নিজেকে করতে হবে না। হ্যাঁ,
অথবা co-host করে দেন।
ওকে,
করে দিব। আচ্ছা,
পোস্ট করে দাও। ওকে, Ehtesham bhai এখন বলেন।
Yes, thank you. আমি এখন now I am unmuted. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak something here. Actually, I want to thank our today's partner from India, who are giving us the enlightening us on the field of this radiation technology. We are trying to enlighten us from their lecture. Thank you, Dr. F.M. Kamal and Shuman, for organizing all these things. But my problem I want to share with you, that can we shift the meetings from 1 p.m. because this is the high time for the patient management in our center. So basically from morning, I am not able to connect with full concentration with this meeting. Can we shift it for 2 hours?
Ehtesham bhai, till now the time is like this. We will discuss
because Dr. Kamal, because you know that Saturday is the first day of week in Bangladesh. We are working here.
Ehtesham bhai, we can discuss it in our own group and we'll try to discuss.
And busiest day, 2 hours. You just think it. It is my proposal.
We will try to discuss, and if possible, we will reorganize.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Kamal bhai, let us resume. Yes, let us resume in the question answer session.
Please.
Thank you, sir. So again, question from Dr. Mann: how constant bladder filling can be maintained during interfraction treatment? How constant bladder filling can be maintained?
How?
Constant bladder filling is maintained. constant bladder filling?
Yes. See, when you are due to start the treatment bladder protocol, in beginning, yes, of course, clinically, you are in first week, you are able to achieve, patient is able to maintain bladder filling. But slowly, due to the radiation toxicity, the patients not able to hold constantly every day. So yes, that kind of correction is needed. So uncertainties are going to be included in our planning, of course. For matching, we should take care only soft tissue only. When we are doing for bladder protocol, soft tissue matching is should be on priority. If you are able to do it, you are better. But yes, if you are not able to achieve, then of course you can go for anatomy matching.
So thank you. Mizanur Rahman. Mizanur Rahman, can you please ask your question in the chat box? So by this time, I just want to ask you very basic questions because there is a heterogeneous group of participants over there. Some are working in a very good centers and some are working in the peripheral centers.
Yes.
So I want to ask you very basic questions. So can you please repeat what is systemic error and what is random error? Because I need a long time to understand these issues. So what is systemic and what is random error and how we can correct it?
Yeah. See, systematic and random errors are, suppose, for example, let us see the treatment planning machine. That is a simulator. Simulator means either it can be CT simulation or conventional simulator. Patient is taken for simulation. Patient is given any immobilization or positioning accessories for reproducibility. Now, if patient, if I come, basic question is alignment, where maybe the doctors or oncologists both are available at that time of simulation. So slightly patient alignment is not perfect. And if it is not perfect, then inside the body, if it is head and neck, inside the body, the structure of the anatomy will have slightly tilt. When you will go for CT imaging, then you will realize that slice by slice CT, you will see that you have placed 3 markers, 3 fiducials, one anterior, one lateral this side, one lateral this side. When you will go to imaging by CT, you will not get the slice in which this fiducial, this fiducial available in one slice. It means slightly the fiducial is either this way or this way. So you are not able to get all 3 fiducials in one slice. So it means there is a slightly positional error is given during the planning itself. So when you will go for planning that plan by delineating by doctor and then by physics, you will not have 100% distribution as per your requirement to that region. So because error has been given at day 1 during simulation, and that error of straightness will remain same throughout the treatment every day. So that will become and will be known as a systematic error. Means for whole treatment, this error will not be corrected. That tiltness will remain there. So you have to compromise dose distribution accordingly. So that will become a systematic error. Now, the next question comes, what is random error? So in random error, when we are placing the patient for treatment, random error will be when we are executing the treatment plan on Linac or Cobalt machine. Then random error will come in the picture. So what random error will come? That random error will be for that day only, for that kind of position only. What is that? Slightly headrest position is changed, maybe 1 millimeter or maybe 2 millimeter, which is not visible by the professional. Or when we are setting the SSD, anterior SSD or lateral SSD, at that moment, we are not keeping exactly 80 or 90 or 100. There is maybe 1 mm or 2 mm variation. So that kind of variation is going to give as a random error for that particular day, for that particular time. So that is a random error.
So thank you, sir. So I just a message to all the radiation therapy technologists. So this is a very important information, but because sometimes we have seen that when we are in the planning controlling session, we have seen that the two fiduciaries are not in the same alignment. And by this time, the patient has gone so far. Probably he is from too far, and patient we have, after taking the simulation, the patient has gone to his hometown. So at that time, it would be really tough for us to how to accommodate this type of situation. So I think you should keep it in mind that after the scanning, you should check by yourselves whether all the three fiduciaries are in the same line or not. If it is not in properly aligned, then we should take the re-scan, because otherwise we are in the real troublemaking situation. So by this time,
Dr. Aziz, I will add to you. You are very rightly said. So if you are doing immobilization at the couch of CT or simulator, you will reduce the your random error or systematic error. But when there are many centers, even in our country also, where you are making immobilization in mold room, so there only with your visual experience, you are making the patient alignment. So there you may have more chances. So when you are not having machine with you, only directly you are doing on mold room couch, at that moment, you have to give additional precaution for alignment. That additional precaution for alignment, you can use the mathematics for that. You can use set square for that alignment. You can use the SSN to chin distance for alignment. You can use the lateral center distance from couch to center for alignment. So these parameters definitely will help in giving the better position or immobilization of patient.
so thank you, Gurvinder ji. I have seen a few more questions, but it is all related to CBCT issues. So in nasopharyngeal carcinoma, in your center, what is the standard verification protocol in NPC at Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute?
Yeah, in nasopharyngeal carcinoma, we are maximum in our center, we are having around 200 to 250 radiotherapy patient every day. So we have a protocol that we are doing CBCT at day 1. We are doing CBCT at day 2. Day 1 CBCT coordinates are implemented and transferred on patient day 1. Then next day, the same coordinates, positioning is same, all the things are matching, then CBCT taken. And if there is not much error, not more than 2 mm, then it means we can go for 2D imaging in subsequent fractions.
A question from Mohammad Ali, one of our radiation therapy technologists. In lateral image, I match longitudinal and vertical, and in lateral image, I match longitudinal, and in vertical image only. I am not very clear about the question. What Mohammad Ali is going to ask. So head neck patient, sir, can you please check the chat box whether you can retrieve the inner message?
Lateral image I matching, and vertical image image only. Lateral is okay. Lateral image I match, and vertical image only. I think he is trying to say that he is matching with lateral image, and lateral image means both right, left, lateral, and vertical. If it is not matching or vertical, yes. What I mean, I should suggest you should take vertical, right lateral, left lateral. All 3 lasers should match with all 3 centers or fiducials. Then only alignment can be trusted that yes, you are rightly matching with the patient alignment.
So thank you, sir. I have not seen any more question in the chat box. So we are at the end of our program, though we have 5 minutes left. But I think as there is no more question, we can conclude this session. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us the precious time. And all the participants, you are requested to join in our next Saturday session. That will be in the same time. And already Ehtesham has proposed. So let us discuss with the authority what would be the decision. But till then, it is in the fixed time in next Saturday, and will be on head neck malignancy. There will be a radiation oncologist, medical oncologist, and a radiation therapy technologist. It will be a very interactive and effective session. So I hope you will join in time. So without any further discussion, if all you allow us, then we can conclude this session. So thank you, Gurvinder ji. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.